In this video, I'm going to go over the text panel in the Documents panels. It is the fifth one down with the letter T on it. There's actually two T's. So if I come over here, let me change this to something different. And if I come over here and click on this text, it's going to tell me that it's Arial Black. Okay, so in the first field here, we have the view. We can view all of our fonts, our favorites that we've added to a favorites list, or all the fonts in this project. So we'll go ahead and click all for now and click inside here, and we'll choose a font. I don't know, we'll just choose this one. And you see it changed. And I don't like that because it's got those open spots in there. You can fix that pretty easily in here, but okay. Where'd my panel? And okay, all right, well, that can work for something different. But for right now, it's not going to work. So just let me go back to the A's. I can click on the letter A, and it'll take me back to the A's, and it was Arial Black. There we go. All right. Now, when this is highlighted, you want to click on your mat so that it's not, because otherwise, if I was to go type something else and it would type in Arial Black. All right. So anyway, let's move on. Well, let me back up. Go to View All, and if you want to add a favorite font to your list, I'll just choose one. You look over here, there's a red heart with a green plus sign. You just hit that to add it. And now if I select that font in my favorites, my heart now has a green minus sign, and that is how you would remove it from your favorites. So then the next thing that we have is bold. Well, no, that's not true. Let's go to this project. So I have 3 different fonts in this project, because if I zoom out here, you can see I have 3 different fonts. So I have 3 different fonts here. So in this project, it shows 3 different fonts on this one page. Okay, if I come over here to page 2 and I type out something, and I change the font, I go back here to all, and I'll change it to, I'll just use this Cambria. It didn't change, right? It didn't change because I didn't select the font before I actually typed. So in that case, I can highlight it. This is still going to stay at the font that I chose. Just click on it and go up here to change it. All right, and then go to your selection tool and get that unhighlighted. All right, so now if I go to all, this project, I'm going to have 4 fonts. And why is that? There's only 1 font on this page. Well, because it's in the same project. Okay, I have 2 pages in the same project, and it's going to show me all the fonts in the project. All right. Okay, so let's go back to all here, and let's go back to page 1, and let's go down here to bold, and then we have italic and refresh. So the refresh button, if you were in Create working and you were like, oh darn, I want this font, I know I have it on my computer. So you go there and you actually download it and install it, or if it's already downloaded but not installed, you go ahead and install it. You can click this refresh button and it'll show up in your list. You will not have to close down Create to get it to show. All right. So then it's also for if you use this choose the font file to load, and then you load it and you don't see it in your all fonts list, then you can click refresh and it will show. So to choose a font file to load, what that does is it takes all of your fonts that you have on your computer. If I find a TTF or OTF file and I open it, it's going to tell me the font Benghazi regular has been loaded. Alright, so if I go here and I type the letter B and I look for the Benghazi, it's right there. Now the nice thing about this choose a font file to load, it's also up here in text, load font file, is that you can load a file that is unzipped in your files, but it's not installed on your computer. Okay, I have a ton of those, and I don't install a lot of fonts on my computer because the more you load, the more it can slow down your computer. Font files are typically pretty small, but at the same time, if you're gonna install 1,000 fonts, it's gonna slow down your computer and your program when you start it up. Not just this one, but any that has to load fonts like Inkscape or even your Word documents or whatever. It's going to take longer for it to open. So I don't like installing a bunch of fonts on my computer. So this is a very nice feature. Text, load font file, or it's also right here. Choose a font file to load. Okay. The thing is, once you close out Create, this session of Create, those fonts are gone. So if you want to use them tomorrow, then you're going to have to load them again. All right? Okay. So that's that. Let me zoom out here a little bit. And to zoom in and zoom out, I just hold Alt and roll my mouse wheel. I forget what I have on here. Okay, let's select this. And let's move it over here and actually change the color. So I'll go to the art palette here for the fill and stroke. And I'll change the color to something we can see. Ooh, we can see that. Okay. And then let's go back to the text tool and use the alignment. Well, actually this is going to work better, but I'll use this or something else. So when you go to select something, you'll see that my cursor changes. Alright, so let me go ahead and select this, left click and drag a box around it. Alright, align to the left, align center, align to the right. So let me go back to center, and this one, it automatically aligns left, but then you click on this little icon here and this box pops up, justification. You can change a bunch of stuff in here, but I have found that once you change it, you can't change it back. So it's permanent, whatever you do. So I'll just go ahead and show you character and word. Let me auto preview. Okay. And then even if I cancel, it's going to stay like that. I can't change it back. Even if I go back here and I change this back to Word and I auto preview, oh, it did change it back. Okay, it didn't do it earlier for me, and that's probably because I didn't choose OK. I was just going through the previews. So that's nice to know. Okay. All right. 10 minutes in, I'm not going to start the video over. We learned the lesson, didn't we? Okay. So let me go back to center. That's what that does. And you can play around with these options here. All right. You can auto preview. Once you hit OK, it's going to change everything, but you can come back here. It's too bad that there's not a default button here, because if you don't remember word, longest line, and full, then you may not be able to get back to what you had before. But anyway, all right, so that's that. And then, so the standard text or fixed height proportional, if I go ahead and type out the word hello in standard Magnolia script font, and then I go to fixed height and I type it out, you can see that it's all the same height. Okay, if I go to fixed height proportional, you can see how that works. So just another way to do text. I'll put this back to standard. We can increase it or decrease it. We have width. We can spread it apart, or we can bring it down. I don't suggest using that for moving your letters closer together to weld them, because you can do that down here in tracking and leading. Okay, so tracking is in Cricut Design Space letter spacing, and leading is line spacing, the space between the two lines. Alright, so if I move this up, it's going to spread my letters out. If I move it down, it's going to bring them closer together. That's tracking. Leading is the space between the lines, if I go up or if I go down. Okay, and then you have an offset, which actually just brings the whole selection up or down. And then you have rotate. You can put a value in here. I'll put I don't know, 30, and hit enter and see what it did. I mean, this could be fun. Skew, I'll put 45. So you can play around with that. I will tell you that when you're done, you need to change this back to 0. Enter, 0, enter. Because if you don't, the next time you go to a text, it's going to change it to whatever you have set for rotate and skew. Okay, so let's see, let's go back up here to text. Here you have all your fonts. You can type a letter again and get to, I typed W, get to your fonts that way, or you have an up arrow here and an up or down arrow here. Okay, and then you have size. You can resize here as well. Convert text to outlines. Now I did this earlier and I don't know, it didn't seem to do anything. I'm sure there's a purpose, but I haven't figured it out yet. But when I do, I'll let you know. And then again, you have load font file. Okay, so let me go ahead and select this font and go to text font preview. Now, if any of you have ever used WordMarket, wordmark.it website, it shows you all of your fonts, and it's not showing my fonts. Why not? Probably because I've done some weird things to these fonts. Let me try this one. Text font preview. Okay, here we go. You can make this box larger. You can also decrease the amount of fonts you have in here. Alright, so let me go here and let me decrease this as much as I can without having them touch. And go back to text, font preview. And got to stretch this back out again. And lower this bar down here. And then you can see more of your fonts at a time. Now, let's say, oh, I might want this one, so I'll select it. Scroll on down. I might like this one. And I don't know, I might like this one. So let's display the selection only. Okay, so I selected these 3 fonts. If I left click on any of these, they're going to be gone. So let's say that I want to use this font here. Let's make sure that's not what it is. Yeah. Alright, I want to use this font here. So I'm going to left click this one and left click this one. When there is only one left, then you can click change font and it will change the font. And then you may have to do some adjusting again. Okay, so that's how that works for the text document in the Documents panel and the text up here in the menu. Alright, and I'll get to the text over here when I do the tools. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the text panel. Thanks for watching.